Hello gamers, Matt Lemke with Through Gamer Goggles in another episode of Figure Forge. In this episode of Figure Forge, we'll be putting together the Circle of Orboros Celestial Fulcrum Battle Engine. As you can see, there's a lot of pieces. There's some important things to note about these pieces. The pieces that go on the base are pretty much all labeled. A lot of these pieces only go in one place, so make sure that you're aware of that before you put your model together. For example, the arms for the orbs only fit one orb. They do not fit another orb. Another good example would be the pewter stone pieces for the resin base are labeled A, B, and C, or the big one has a peg. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. I've already laid it out, kind of looked at assembling it. It's an interesting model to assemble. So we're going to sort some things out here off screen real quick. I'm just going to slide some things over, keeping them in place with the way I want to attempt to assemble them. And the first thing I'm going to do is zoom in a little bit. And over here, I'm going to rotate it until you can see it. You have a peg. You have a peg in the pewter piece. It's pretty simple. It's not overcomplicated. You just pop it in, and it's a pretty tight fit. I do not think you're going to need to glue this part of the model. In fact, I'm not going to glue it because I want to see what it's going to be like, and I think for storage it'll make it a lot easier in the end on you. You won't need a 6-inch piece of foam to put this model away. And then the next thing I'm going to say we're going to do is we're going to glue this in. Now this isn't the greatest fit in the world. No, I lied. We're not going to glue that in yet. We're going to set that off screen. We're going to grab our orbs because they need a little bit of work. I'm using Zap-A-Gap gel. For this today. First thing you want to do is find the pieces that match. Well, obviously that one doesn't go there. That one goes there. Just like that. So I'm going to slide some gel in there. Not a lot. That was really too much. And I'm going to take a towel because I got too much on there and just wipe that off a little bit. I'm going to set that aside, let it dry. Take the next one, which is the largest of the three. Again, it's a nice fit. Just a little bit of gel. Press that down on there a little bit. Count to like 10. This one's going to be a little bit more stubborn. If I set this one aside right now, it's going to fall apart on me. And the last one. This one seems to be the loosest of the three. Now, I don't condone doing this at home, but I may need to zip kick this one. I'm still going to go set it aside and see if I can get it to dry. Just with gravity, which isn't going to happen. Yeah, this one's a little bit wider, so it doesn't want to hold. It's not a tight fit. I'm going to set that off screen, let it dry. I'm going to pull the base back on. Now, how good is the new camera? Yeah, you can see it. Try and get that into the light a little bit better. You see it better in the shade. No, you don't. Right there, A. Now you can't read it on the computer, but that right there is an A. Oh, yes, you can. That's beautiful. Now, one thing I noticed is they just kind of pop in there. They move around pretty good. I almost think that after I paint this up, this is something that should be magnetized. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue the figures in. And I did go ahead and notice the figures aren't labeled. I went ahead and I laid it out. If you lay it out, you're going to find out that that's C. C goes there. And this guy kind of has a lean to it. The guy with two fingers up in the air. He's the guy that goes over here primarily by the downside of the battle engine. That's if you follow it exactly the way it is on the box. They're actually made that they can go in any of the slots. They're all just with a little slot like that. So they actually fit and they can go in any of them. But if you're going to follow the box to the letter, he goes in this slot here. Which means he's going to have a little bit of a lean to him, but that was the case with all three of the figures. Now that you can fix that, you can cut that off and put a magnet on it. You can do whatever you want, or you can just leave it there. He's getting blown around by the battle engine. That works too. And just so you can get a visual on it real quick, we will put that there. And again, this guy's going to be pretty straight up and down. Grab the wrong guy, maybe. Yep, okay, goes there. Put this off screen. Already glued this one. This guy goes in here. Set them off screen. Take some gel, put it in this slot. Pop them in place. Hold that together for about 3 seconds. Maybe 5. Pretty dry. Unless of course you break them off like I just did. That is a drawback to Zip Kicker. It weakens your glue. And now if I touch this with my glue tip, it'll dry on my tip. Now I'm not gonna glue these to the base today. I'm gonna leave them off for painting. I think it's gonna make it my life a lot easier to paint these guys. They got a nice little handle here to hold them. It's gonna even make them nicer to prime. And the third one. Zip kick the base right off the bat. Put the glue in there. Fasten dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hey, he didn't hold. He will. Now again, this is another piece that you could probably magnetize, but that I don't see a need to. I mean, unless you want to wrap them every time you bring them down if you're a really good painter. I am not a super painter. I'm just a decent painter. And then we bring the base back on. Now, the base, we already did this piece, and this piece pops in and off just easy. Now, it is worthwhile to mention that the hole, this only fits in here one way. Now, I am not sure which way is going to be easier to put this model together. I'm not sure if it's going to be easier to put the model together by putting the top on first and then gluing it in place, or if I should glue it in here first, or if I should glue this piece on first, and this piece only can go right here. It's the only place it can go. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that first, and I'm going to cheat, because I like cheating at this stuff. Put some glue in here. Bring us back on screen. Oh no, somebody cut it. I can't cheat. I was going to use a piece of tie wire and tie it up. Well, my plan has been foiled. But I can, however, clean up my excess glue. If you've got a rubber band, this would be a good place for a rubber band. I don't have any rubber bands. I did have a bread tie that I was going to use, so I thought. Now I'm stuck holding it. I'm going to move that off screen. I'm going to go ahead and do this part first, give that a little bit more time to dry. Goes in there just like that. And as best I can tell, there is only one way it's going to really go in there and matter. And I used too much glue, so I'm going to pull this back off. I'm going to clean this off real quick. Put it back in there. And I'm going to hold it for a couple seconds, maybe longer. Wow, that held pretty quick. I'm impressed. Okay. Now, just so I can get an idea, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Get the best. That's about as close to the box as I think I'm going to get. And it looks like I need to play around with it a little bit more. Actually, there. That's probably as good as it's going to get. That's a really cool model. Put some glue in there. A little bit on that end. And I'm stuck holding it until it dries. There's no easy way to put this portion together. I don't think this is a model that you're going to have to worry about painting after having it assembled, just from the way it's going together. You might want to paint the little orbs before you put them on. I'm not sure I see a need. Oh, and those are labeled too. Great. So maybe I made a boo-boo. That's B. I think I made a boo-boo. Pull it off real quick and check. So, how do you fix a mistake if you make a mistake? Will that work? That won't work. We are going to improvise. You're going to see me improvise today, peoples. So I did notice that these little holes, I don't know if you, right there, those are labeled. A is the only one that goes on the back. B and C go to the front. So I flipped my orb around backwards when I glued this piece on. Now I'm not going to break it off because I think I'll ruin the model if I do that. At this point. I will definitely break the model if I do that. So I do have to get this glued in here so I can figure out how I'm going to fix my problem. Now I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use some zip here. Now, that's pretty kicking, even if I did put it together wrong. So let's see here. I can use that like that. This one is supposed to go to the top, which I can still do. It's not really an error. Well, it is, I guess, but it's not. And this one can go there. All I have to do is take that little nubby off. This is a piece I will probably end up magnetizing in the end. hard part's going to be getting it to stick where I want it to stick. I am not going to end up gluing this piece on today. I am, however, probably going to magnetize it after my first game. So just put a little bit of glue there. Put this one in place where it belongs. And again, because I'm on our figure forge, I'm going to use some zip kicker. And because it's easier, I am going to go ahead and pop this off here so I can hold it in place better. Hopefully I don't have to re-glue it. And actually, I'm not going to glue that yet. In fact, I'm going to clean that off right now before it gets too hard, because I will never get that painted. I will never get that painted if I glue this on now. Let's take a look at the back side. Let's see. This goes in here like this, and this model piece goes here like that. Now that one I can glue on. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And so I don't make a mistake, there we go. Just flip it over. Wipe some of that off without knocking your model off. Man. Now, on the front, I glue this guy right here. But I think for ease of putting them away, I'm going to put a magnet on this guy. I don't have one, so I'm going to have to do it and come back at a later date with that. But putting a magnet here is not a big deal. All you got to do is drill it in. Take your little drill right there. Glue the two correct ends on there so you can pop that off and on. Put one in the hole, put one on this piece, bam. So this model is not nearly as difficult to put together as I thought it was going to be. So let's assemble it so you can get a visual. Mostly. This guy goes here. And these pieces I will. Oh, this is piece B. Oh man. That's why I hate zip kicker. B. And I just broke it because I knocked it down. C. And there you have it. Minus 2 pieces. But it is basically fully assembled. I will put magnets on these pieces, but I like the fact that they pop off and on easily. So one Circle of Orboros Fulcrum Battle Engine, pretty much assembled. Waiting on a couple modifications I need to do, and painting. Thank you for watching this episode of Figure Forge from Through Gamer Goggles. This is Matt Lemke. Please leave your comments for us in the posts and let us know how we're doing. Follow us on Twitter, +1 us if you like what you see, and friend us or like us on Facebook. Again, this is Figure Forge, the Hordes, Circle of Orboros, Celestial Fulcrum Battle Engine from Privateer Press.